So now let's move on from chairs to desks. So what about desks? I know standing desks are like the big thing now, and which I agree with, but they're pretty expensive. Most full motorized standing desks are in the $500-600 area. Last time I looked, um, they may be a little more now because this was probably a year ago I was looking at them, but I can't imagine they're 600, 650, something like that. So they're expensive, but what do you think about standing desks, Drew?
I have one. I am standing as we record right now, and that's actually I'm a little bit of the reverse of Creston. I will stand almost exclusively when I'm recording or like in a meeting or something where I'm not active with the keyboard or too active with my brain. Otherwise, I'm sitting down. I wish I stood more, honestly, because I feel better standing more. Um, but standing desks are a little bit like sort of every other tool. Like they only work if you use them. So
Yeah.
standing desks, you don't necessarily need to drop a ton of money on those right off the bat. See if you're actually going to use it. You can get like a hand crank one from IKEA for like $200. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but it'll get you comfortable with like, am I actually going to stand? Can I develop the habit to stand more during my workday than just sit at it?
Yeah, and Creston, I know you've got a standing desk too. What is yours, a full standing desk?
I mean, it's a full standing desk. Yeah. It's the smallest one given the size of the room that I am in terms of width. It's the smallest width. But yeah, I paid, around the $600 mark. I don't know, maybe in like 5 years ago or so, and it's the Uplift desk brand.
Mm.
So
So I'm
and let me just
yeah,
add
yeah.
real quickly to endorse what Drew was saying is that definitely, you may think, hey, I'm going to use this, it'll be great. And then you find out you don't use it a lot. So definitely buy a cheaper one. So, like my son, who is still under 20, I I went for his next desk. I went ahead and got him one of these hand crank ones. Of course, now he's giving me, yeah, my dad gave me this real crap desk that has the hand crank on it. I'm like, but I'm like, but he like never uses it. So it's like, to your point, it's like you got to try them out and see if they use it. But I
Yeah.
would endorse standing up more will help you in the long term if you're going to be doing a lot of sitting with your programming job.
Yeah.
So balancing it early will prevent damage, injury, over time.
Not to mention the fact that transitioning the up and down will help your leg muscles. It gets your blood flowing better. It helps your brain work better because you've got better blood flow and oxygen flow just because you're moving more
Yeah.
rather than just being sedentary. So
What about your setup?
by nature, I'm a pretty cheap bastard, so I wasn't going to drop $600 on a full table. So the solution I found, which is a good alternative for, hey, try it before you spend $600 on it. And I'm not against the $600 nice motorized big tables, but what I found were these desktop converters.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I have. I actually bought this one here is the one I'm using currently because I wanted a lot of desk space. But it's a manual lift. You pull out these two little things on the side and you just lift it up with muscle power. But you can get converters that are motorized. They're a little more expensive than this, but even the motorized ones I think are like $250. Like this one's motorized, $240. But the one I got is $140. I've had it since January. It's worked like a champ. I had another one, a little bit smaller one like this before that. It wasn't this one. It was less. But for $150, you can try this out. And I don't have a need personally for a motorized one. Now, as I get older and I start, getting a little less strong, I may change my mind on that, but right now I'm healthy enough to pull it up myself. But even the motorized ones, you can get. I was reading reviews on this one here. That's $240. The Flexus Spot. It's motorized, and it, $240. That's not bad for assistance with that. So another thing I would highly suggest investing in, besides a really good chair, is some way to do a standing desk situation.
Agreed. I actually started in a very similar way. I think they're called Veridesks, the manual lift. That's how I started. I got one used. I forget even where I got it, but I got it used for like $50 and was like, well, if I use it enough, I'll upgrade. And I was using it quite a bit, so I upgraded, and now I somehow use it less, that I have a whole desk that lifts rather than just a thing. But yeah, I recommend if money's part of the problem, you can get a used one of those lifts pretty easily, and that'll make a big difference, I think, to me.
Yeah. I mean, every developer I've talked to, even younger ones, have said they are much happier with a standing desk than they were before they had one.
Yeah.
And they're, I can't recommend those enough, really. So that's kind of taking care of.
Let me just throw in one more thing here. So I know I did a lot of research. I even looked at some of the different models, and I got, again, this like 5 years ago. So some of these ones that you can put on an existing desk now, like you were showing, Chris, I think they've evolved over time, and maybe there's some better options now. But I know one thing I struggled with looking at all the different options available was having the keyboard at the right height. So that, again, me being someone with some repetitive stress injury that has happened through this, I want my keyboard and my mouse at the exact perfect height, basically allow your arms to be, parallel with the bottom of the floor. And I did a lot of research and looking around and saying, okay, if I get this desk, do I need to add a keyboard tray below it? And, so just keep those things in mind as you're looking for a solution, is that you still want it to be ergonomic, because like so many desks, the keyboard's too high and it's not appropriate, and you're going to potentially injure yourself if you do a lot of keyboarding at it. But I also think some of this is also probably genetic based. I think there's some people that can be keyboard warriors no matter what their position, and they'll be fine forever. But if just take that into account as you're choosing your keyboard and your desk and whatnot.
I will tell you, I haven't met many of those, at least not many of those over the age of 30. Because if you're a programmer over the age of 30, you probably got some pain somewhere. But so that kind of takes care of the lower body part of this. Also, I'd recommend footrests. I've got a nice footrest, so I can lift my chair up and make sure my knees are my thighs are parallel to the floor, and my foot's on nice cushiony stuff. I've just got a floor footrest. It's made as a footrest, but it's cushioned. It's got memory foam in it. It's, and those aren't that expensive. I think I spent like $30 on this one, and you can height adjust it. It's got like things you can Velcro off to adjust the height up and down, but it's, they're not that expensive. And that's something else I'd recommend, because your feet get really tired standing on, especially if you're in an office that's got thin carpet on concrete. That's something you want to take care of too.
If you like this clip and want to watch another one, you can click right here. Or if you want to watch the full video, you can click here.